Hello everyone, welcome to Online Seller UK, a YouTube channel. My name is Prabhat and I'm founder of Online Seller UK, and the recordings we are doing regularly for the past few weeks is to help you sell online. Today I've got Susan Rowe from DIT, and Susan got many years of experience helping with online seller expand globally. So we'll have a quick chat on how to expand in the US today. So welcome, Susan.
Welcome. Hello there, Robert.
Hello. So thanks for your time, Susan, today. So let's start, Susan, with your introduction, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you. So my name's Susan Rowe. I'm a digital trade advisor and e-commerce advisor for the Department for International Trade. My job and my passion, if you like, is to plan, guide and advise businesses who want to sell overseas online. They could be new exporters or novice exporters or more experienced exporters. We work with a plethora of different types of businesses. And I work with them really to develop their international web presence and to increase global online sales.
Yes, so with the situation we are in, and in the past few months, what sort of scenario are you seeing with online sellers? Are they more towards expanding globally?
Absolutely. I mean, some of them are focusing on their domestic market at the moment because they've had a shift in their business model. So I'll give you a couple of examples. One company I've been working with who has a product for computer science schools or classes. Obviously, because the schools have been closed, they've moved now towards a retail D2C, direct to consumer. So I've been helping them to get their website ready and sell online and use marketplaces such as Amazon to help them do that, which is already set up, as we know. We're also seeing something like a 5.3 billion expected increase in e-commerce, which has been inspired by COVID. And Amazon alone in the next couple of years are expected to increase their online sales by about 2 billion as well. So as bad as the pandemic's been, it's actually brought some good things for e-commerce, so some great growth there, and businesses, if they're not already, really do need to capitalize and maximize, and so our help is more important now than ever, really.
Yeah, so I know you've given us some great numbers there, and I see people who are not large corporates, and there are lots of viewers to these YouTube channels. They may not be large corporates. Do you think smaller businesses can look towards expanding globally? Is it easier?
Yeah, we work with new exporters, so new sellers online as well. Most of the businesses I've been working with who have had some online sales experience are either doing it through their website or doing it through Amazon UK or Amazon Europe. And arguably the next step for that, for many reasons, is why not go to Amazon.com, so Amazon North America, particularly the United States. We do need to be a little bit careful though, because we speak the same language. There is this myth that it's a very easy market to get into. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. We do speak the same language, and that does really help. However, in terms of optimizing product listings and content for product content, there are actually 4,000 differences in terminology between British English and American English, including spellings, use of words, so pants versus pants, if you like. And but the good thing about the US, the Americans love British products, and we are already exporting a lot to the US. We're also having talks, as you know, our government is having talks regarding the UK-US Free Trade Agreement, or FTA, and on both sides they're trying to aim towards a more level playing field. So tariffs may well come down, which will make it even easier and more cost effective for our UK sellers to sell online into the US.
Okay, so excellent start of expanding into the US. If we say, okay, somebody see a US market as an attractive proposition, what are the things sort of we should consider while expanding into the US?
I've come up with a list of considerations, and
Okay.
I mean, I could go on and on and on, but for the sake of this call, then we'll keep it succinct.
Yeah.
And I've actually started them all with C, so they can be easily remembered.
Okay.
I would say the first and probably biggest consideration is customer. Who are they? Where do they gravitate? How can you find them? A recent survey was carried out by Go-to-Market with a number of businesses, and they were given a number of questions, and basically customer acquisition was one that they saw as the biggest challenge of getting into the US market. So know who your customers are. Once you have got them, give them a fantastic service. The Americans love very high customer service, as do we. So if businesses have a great brand, make sure the customer service is there to support that brand as well. I would say my next C is costs. Businesses need a little bit of a little pot of money to get into the US. That could be things for duties and taxes, distribution, storage, shipping, trademark as well, which is quite important, particularly for unique brands.
Yeah.
And other costs as well, marketing, etc. My other C is competition. The US is quite a big market, and it's a very busy market. So I would look at what my competitors might be doing, what their pricing looks like. There's always a rule of thumb that if your product is selling well in the US, why not piggyback off that?
Okay.
If it's not in there at all, why not be the first? But do check the competition. My next one is compliance. So the US has a lot of compliance, particularly with sort of fashion, food and drink. So there's regulatory compliance that we need to adhere to. And my next C is culture. So even though we speak the same language, culturally, we're actually very different. And in fact, there are 51 also states in the United States. Each one of those has their own different culture. So rather than approach it as one big market, approach it as 51 different markets.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that I'm going to finish on my C's there. I have a load more, but businesses can tap into that after today. Just to finish off there, I do have to say the businesses I've worked with that have sold into the US, basically the more that they put in terms of time, effort and revenue, the more they get out. And that probably goes for most markets, but particularly in the United States.
Okay, excellent. So it's a good list of C's you've presented there. Thank you for that. And so with focusing now, going back to just as a platform, there are multiple channels, I believe, not only Amazon. The businesses you worked with in the past, have they chosen Amazon as a first channel, or have they chosen building a website as a first channel, or what sort of experience you've got with the sellers?
I would say that some of the smaller businesses who are least experienced at selling online overseas maybe would go towards a marketplace such as Amazon, because everything's set up there. It's optimized. People can pay in their own currency. Eventually businesses will want to do that through their own web store. But to start with, Amazon is a great platform for starting sales, expanding sales, and getting the brand known in the market as well. I'm going to just very quickly give two examples of companies that I've worked with. One of them had never sold into Amazon US before. They'd done a little bit on Amazon UK, a little bit on Europe as well, the other European countries. So they basically sell leggings, or hand make and sell leggings for parties, festivals, etc. They were doing pretty well on Amazon UK, so why not try the US? What we actually did to start with was just send over 2 small boxes, male leggings, female leggings, just to test. And we use the FBA, Amazon's Fulfilled by Amazon program as well for the US. Now, remarkably, the men's leggings sold almost instantly, but the ladies, as in the UK, didn't really sell. So on the back of that, we then sent more boxes of male leggings out. Now, interestingly, the word leggings does not really exist in the American language. They would use party pants or something like that. Leggings is quite localized to us. So we had to think about that in terms of the listings as well, in terms of the keywords, what would they be searching, etc. So those initial 2 boxes that were sent out actually proved really fruitful, but brought surprises that we weren't aware of in that the men's leggings sold a lot more. So this company was very typical of starting small and then scaling up.
Yeah.
My other example is a more experienced exporter who typically sells through distributors across the world, but also has a retail model to his business. Now, they produce educational toys and books for children, and because of COVID-19 and homeschooling, his products have just shot through the window. They've sold absolutely brilliantly, particularly online. So he was already doing a little bit with America, Amazon US, and then saw these sales increase and increase. As a result of that, he has now set up an LLP, which is a separate US company. Right. He's commissioned a sales management company in the US to look after all his Amazon sales, his third-party logistics, and all the marketing that comes with that. Now, that is something that you would aspire to when you're doing quite well in the market. So 2 completely different sides of the scale there, but there's potential for any type of business or any size of business.
Yeah, I think it's thanks for sharing that, because that's important for anybody to listen who's not gone into the market, that you can actually do things, you know. So is there any particular, if you say, okay, there are 2 or 3 things that we need to consider going into Amazon.com, is in terms of logistics side, tax side, what would you say on that?
I would say if you're a smaller business that hasn't really gone into the US before, start small and scale up. That would be my advice. Also with listings, it's important, even though English is the same language, it's important to get the localization right. So I would and have done work with an external provider who's good at that, who does that, lives and breathes it. If you haven't done it before and haven't got the in-house expertise, why not commission an external provider for 1 or 2 months to start with even? And take advice from other sort of advisors as well in DIT. I'll talk about DIT in just a moment. And definitely consider tax. That, you know, these are where some of the costs are coming in: tax, duties, distribution, storage. Remember that the Americans, like us, we like to get our hands on the goods quite quickly. Yeah. So consider FBA, or certainly a 3PL, third-party logistics company.
Sure. So I think we are coming towards the end. So there will be a lot of people wanting to, you know, get some support to get started on that. Yourself, you work with DIT. So what sort of support are there? If you could explain a little bit on that, that'd be really good.
Okay, well, DIT, we're split into 9 UK regions. We also are present in 110 countries and 175 localities, so we're all over the world as well as in the UK. Yeah. We have an international trade toolkit for helping all sizes of business, and again, whether they're new or more experienced exporters. We have a network of international trade advisors all across the UK that work with businesses, and in recognition that online selling is actually so important, we also have a designated e-exporting program. Okay. And within that program we offer webinars, training, and there is an e-commerce advisor in each of the UK 9 regions as well. If anyone wants to avail to any of that, find your local region. I would go on to the .gov.uk website, and then just Google just search international trade, put in your region, and then you'll be directed to an advisor who can take it forward.
Okay, cool. And if anybody wants to get in touch with you directly, perhaps you work in a, so if you could let everyone know which region you're working on, and also it'd be good to get, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, where is the best place to get to?
Okay, well, I'm going to be working from next week. I'm going to be working with DIT East Midlands, and my email address is susan.rowe, that's R-O-E, at mobile.trade.gov.uk. It couldn't be longer, could it?
Or perhaps you are in LinkedIn, it may be easier that way too.
And LinkedIn, yes,
Yeah.
Susan Rowe, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So thanks, Susan, for your time today. You've given us a very good light in terms of how to expand into US. So I'm sure everybody listening got some knowledge to start expanding online, but there is a lot of support out there through Susan and Susan's team. So just get in touch if you'd like to there. And please do share this podcast or video when you get a chance, and if you find it useful, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.